Hey folks, Paras here. I'm going to talk to you about my health and fitness journey from usual basics to programming myself into muscle building, bodybuilding, weightlifting. And it all started very young. I already talked about it in my how I started smoking journey, because I used to go to the sports club nearly every day, play gym squash gym or squash gym squash. So there, the guy taught me the foundations. It was 20 reps, 3 sets. And after the first time, that pain I felt, I loved it. DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. I usually get it 2 days after. Recently, I've been getting 1 day after. It all depends on your body type and what you do and all that. I started getting addicted to that pain. But the other thing was, I was always active. I was always into wrestling. I was into Arnold Schwarzenegger, all these muscle guys. So that really helped me a lot. When I was watching wrestling, I used to practice their moves at home or do 400 sit-ups at home. I was just obsessed. I think around then, there was that Peter Andre Mysterious Girl song also, which was another motivation. Six-pack was the next thing. And during this time, in school, we were doing something called President's Award Scheme. So I really liked this style because it was not like PE or physical exercise, or what is it called? Physical education. PE was mostly people doing sports, playing dodgeball, if you were playing in a group situation with boys and girls, or it was things like soccer, football, and that didn't interest me. But PA interested me because it was duck walks, wall sits. It was torturous. Like the assessors would take pleasure in pushing you to your limits. Leg throws were another favorite. So I really enjoyed those because there was someone making sure you are accountable, someone pushing you past what you can do. And that's what physical fitness for me, or bodybuilding, ended up being, which I really enjoy. So from then on, I got into it so much that I ended up getting, my mom found a home gym. So myself and 2 other friends, I'd get them home, we would start working out together. And if they weren't there, I would still do my workouts. When I bought this set, it came with a little booklet. I can't remember the guy's name, but he gives you different programs to do every day. One day it would be chest, another triceps, biceps. I remember the skull crushes he was talking about. Oh, those were really good. And one of the tricks he explained was that if you want to show that you have big arms, make sure you grow your triceps more than your bicep, because your tricep is a bigger muscle on your arm. My triceps blew up naturally. They were just good at growing up. I've been lucky that way, but I've always been consistent. Now, difference between consistency and taking it to the next level is, instead of just showing up, doing the work, I started seeing what other people were doing. So let's go on that journey. At home, doing that gym, yes, I felt the burn. And I was getting toned. I still didn't know the tricks, all the tricks to build muscle, to get bigger and all that. But I got there slowly, over years, like decades. So at home, what we did was build, do our exercise, feel that burn, get swole, get the pump. And getting the pump is very important. A few bodybuilders will tell you, once you feel the pump is where you've taken your body and increased that swell. Like your body normally has never been that big, that it wants to explode. Like you feel yourself, you can see that your body has that potential to grow that big. So I really support that pump. I don't always go for it. We used to feel that pump. We used to go out drinking then, or mom used to give us soy meals, or high protein meals. I just wanted something closer to where I was working. We would become members in High Ridge with this guy somewhere, and we would work out at his home gym. It was just like different rooms where he set up lots of things. There were some built guys. So lifting journey would carry on. It wouldn't progress too much until I got to UK. When I went to UK, I started having a fixed routine. Like I don't think I was still recording my stuff then, because otherwise I would write down my workouts. But I had a better routine, and I was just getting better and better at that. I used to go to Harrow's Fitness First, and I used to go for the body pump class, because body pump class, you get the pump every session, and it was a full body routine. It really helped me. It really helped me feel all the potential of where I could be. And then every now and then I would brave over to go to where all the big guys, the pros, they would be on the benches with the free weights. I was always shy to go there. I wasn't shy, but I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't want to go there. I would go to the machines. I would go to different things. So in the machines, you carry on doing things without a plan, but I was still consistent. I still showed up. I like competing from a distance. One thing I really liked in that place was this machine where it just keeps vibrating. So I would be in my middle range of push-ups, because that's when you feel your chest getting strength and all that. And this is another thing I used to do at home in the early days. Like, before sleeping, I'll just flex really hard until I feel a sharp pain in my bicep. I flex really hard this way until I feel a sharp pain in my tricep. Do this. One thing I used to do was push down, and I don't even need weight. I just push down, and then I can feel that pinch. I can feel that pain. I'll even press, so I know where I want that pain to go. I used to do that a lot. We also had all these pulleys and lever systems at home. Just so many ways to stay active. Like, you just do this. So one side you're building bicep, the other side you're exercising tricep. You pull, so you're doing back. And I could lift more. So dumbbells usually start at 10 or 12, and I needed something heavier. So remember, I was still skinny. I saw this guy next to me. He was doing 20s or 22s. And I'm like, this guy is just as skinny as me, but he took off his shirt, and that chest stuck out like man titties, like steaks just put out there. And that's what I wanted. I think by then I had already watched Pumping Iron, where Arnold was also talking about how you can sculpt your body just by focusing on whatever exercise you want to do. Keep doing it. And then the two other main ingredients was eat and sleep. You have to get your sleep, because that's where everything recovers and rebuilds. Tear it down, feed it, make it repair. I had joined Fitz Gym in Harrow. That time my girlfriend was still around the corner, so me and her joined. And I had decided I was going to wake up at 4. By now my routine had changed completely. I wanted to meditate. So I wake up, meditate around 4:30, 30 minutes, cycle to the gym. So I'm already doing some more exercise. Then do my workout, then do my yoga, or do my yoga and then my workout. Either way, workout and yoga were together. Cycle to Tesco's, get my yogurts, my strawberries, my lunches, whatever, and then eat throughout the day, because I heard about all this eating 5 times a day, and I've always been a grazer. I can't fit a whole meal into my stomach in one sitting. So I really like this, and I prefer programming my stomach that way anyway. The more you program your stomach, and this is my belief, I'll share a video on what size your stomach is, and how everyone has trained themselves to stuff themselves. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, 3 meals. So I reprogram myself to eat only a certain amount. Once I feel like, okay, I'm going to fall asleep if I eat anymore, or I'm not feeling comfortable, or my organs need to move, that's not it. I'm not going to eat any more than that. I'm going to eat less than when I'm full. That video explains it. So back to this thing. Fitz Gym. Cycle there. My legs were getting big because of the hill I was cycling up every day. Every day I was cycling up that hill. Eat yogurt and strawberries, have my meal. It was fajitas with lots of meat, cottage pie, this other shepherd's pie, all kinds of pies. And I was slowly seeing a bit more progress. But I saw the real progress when I moved to Leighton. At some point, I moved away from my friends and family because I wanted to not only build physically, build myself in all kinds of ways. I had 6 pillars, which I'll talk about in a future video. Once I moved to Leighton and I joined Leighton Fitness First, I had a plan. I was like 3 days a week, no matter what, I'm going to stay in my gym outfit. This I got from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Friday, Saturday, Sunday after work, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday until I've gone to the gym and done my thing at the headquarters. I was at that same time I was into this acting and plays and stuff like that, and I was really getting along with this girl. But one of the plays we went to, everyone was dressed up. I went in my hoodie and tracksuit. She was so put off by that she stopped talking to me. And I was like, hey. And Arnold's story was that he was wearing, I think, a cut out top, so his belly would always show, and people would embarrass him, so he would get a 6-pack because of that. Like, he would work towards a 6-pack. And once I got into this routine, I was so addicted. I mean, there was once we got free tickets to see our friends DJing, and we went to this O2 Arena club thing, and we were not allowed in because I was wearing my tracksuit, sneakers, and had my backpack. So me and my cousin just hung out in O2 Arena and stuff like that. But that's how dedicated I was to change my life. And this is one thing, this is the first step you need to have if you're going into your fitness journey or whatever journey you're going. You have to change it here. You have to promise yourself that no matter what you do, from a certain point onwards, or you're going to work towards that point where you're going to be about this lifestyle, no matter what. In your house, you've set up a little dumbbell there. No matter, whenever you pass it, you're going to do something called grease the groove. You're going to do a few reps every time you pass that dumbbell, and you're going to make it a ritual until it's ingrained in you that you need to do it. So you have to move from, okay, I'm going to do it, to I want to do it, I need to do it, I'm addicted to doing it. I've been very lucky because then I got to move to Poland, where I didn't have friends. It was very hard to make friends there, and even though I did end up making really good friends, I had so much free time because I was working remotely. I had so much time free, so I did the Tony Robbins Personal Power 2 program, which I highly recommend. And I also got into bodybuilding.com. I tried every program. I tried every program that was there at that time. Now there are lots more with Jim Stopani and all these other guys. The ones I did were with like Lee Labadra, I don't know if I'm saying his name properly, Chris Gethin, all these guys. And I started seeing the pattern. It was a very simple pattern to follow. Start with just enough weights to do, say, 15 reps of 4 to 5 sets. And then every week in your notebook, write down how much more you lifted until you get to a point to failure. And your failure should get to, say now you've reached 8 reps because you've increased your weight every week. You've increased your weight every week, or you've increased your number of sets. Now, if we look at all my programs then, I was getting big. I was getting strong. I wasn't getting as big as I wanted to because I'm a hard gainer. There's like ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. My friend Brian that time told me about drinking eggs. He was drinking 4 eggs and he had built a body for himself, like super body. So I started with 1 or 2 eggs because it was very hard to get into that routine. Now I can drink them like milk, and I love doing that. That's my protein. While we are on food and proteins, I hardly do any supplements. I don't do creatine, I don't do protein powders. I want to know what I put in my body, so I make my own supplements. If you want to know more about those, let me know, because I'll make a separate video on that. So back to building. So you have to eat a lot of protein, which I couldn't fit in my body, so drinking those eggs really helped. But that gym workout, just having that piece of paper and seeing your progress, what you do, because every day I was making sure I was better than yesterday. Yesterday is the only person I want to compete against. One more rep, usually I would do 2 more or 3 more reps, or I would increase weight. So then my routine became that, okay, I'm going to get to 10 to 12 reps, and if I go over that, I need to increase my weight. And then 10 to 12 reps, once I get there, increase again. So if I increase the weight, I would get to, say, 8 reps. These days I even go lower. Sometimes I go to 5 reps until I get to a higher rep, and then I push it. Get yourself any kind of program, stick to it 6 months. Promise yourself that you'll stick to it. One of the programs I really loved, and apparently Hrithik Roshan, someone who's known for his beautiful body, also recommends, is the DTP, Dramatic Transformation Protocol. It's very different to your usual programs, because you'll do 30 reps of one set, then you do 20, then you do 10, then you do 10, 20, 30. So 30, 20, 10, 10, 20, 30. But you do different parts. Now, one thing I used to do in Leighton, when I was wearing nothing but tracksuits, I promised myself that even if I was sick, I'm going to go to the headquarters and get my blessings. So go to the headquarters. Even when I was sick, I would sit there. They had free sodas and drinks and all that, which I found strange. Or they had steam and sauna. So I would just go in, and then I'd be like, looking at all these guys, it's kind of motivating me to do something. Let me just go on the treadmill. And for the first time, I used to hate running. For the first time, I got into running. I would run 47 minutes, or I was very impressed with that. I was like, I can do so much if I just show up. All you have to do is show up. Don't worry about, I didn't give a damn about who was looking at me or not. I was there for me, for my health, my fitness, my betterment. And that's the mentality you need to go with. Have the aim that, okay, I'm going to go for a walk to program myself to get into the habit, and then I'm going to take weights. I'm going to go for weighted walks. It's called a farmer's walk. The things it does for your body, just holding a certain weight. That's why I have all these big bikes which I go to work with, and my friends are like, oh, you're going to heist, are you going to live in the workplace, or this and that. So they make fun of me, and I'm like, fine, make fun of me. I know why I'm here. I know what I'm doing. Back to this thing about bodybuilding, and now I really got into this bodybuilding program. One after another I was doing it, and I could see I was getting the cuts, I was getting this, I was getting that. I started doing pull-ups because I got into Hannibal the King and all these bar stars, all these calisthenic guys, and my back blew up. Like I got the V taper. I started figuring things out. I was just like, okay, so you do this. This is the V taper they're talking about. What are they talking about next? They're talking about capped delts. Capped delts, okay, that gives you more of a V taper. What else can you do? You want a bigger chest. I've never been into flat bench press. I just didn't feel good about it. So I got into incline. I've always done incline stuff. So one workout that I really love till today is dumbbell pullovers. They just do a full body thing, and I really like compound things. I got to find out about the difference between compound and isolations. Compound is really good for just conditioning and sorting the whole body, while isolations is that thing Arnold Schwarzenegger was talking about, is where you sculpt that extra layer of muscle or whatever you want to build on. So you do those. I started realizing, like when you do a bicep like this as opposed to this, what a difference. When you just hold, maybe you can see it now, hold like this where your hands is inside, and then when you move outward, your bicep changes. So many intricacies, and it became like a game to me. It became so much fun. So bodybuilding.com Hopefully it still has it because I don't use it anymore. But you can choose your body type, your weight, your size, your style. If you are a hard gainer, if you are someone who eats one thing and it just shows suddenly, and then what you want to go towards. You want to go towards fat loss, muscle, fitness, conditioning, maintenance. There's just so many options, and hopefully there's still like programs where you don't have to pay, because all of these I just had to follow. Okay, watch this video today and go and do that. Now the next thing I got into was, as I was getting older, my body couldn't take it. Like, I really have to push myself to do all these things. So after Poland, I still carried on. Gym life continued. I came to Australia. Every day I cycle at least 38 minutes going to work and then 38 minutes going back. So that helped me do my cardio. I've never been into that much cardio, but I love cycling. I really love cycling. So cycle, go to the gym, go to work, cycle back. And this time my aim was to I was set on getting my obliques set up, my Adonis belt. And for a short time I did, but it was not the best time in my life. So I didn't stick to it too much. As much as I loved that Adonis belt and I went through a lot of pain to get through them, I was able to lift my legs in the air and then do windshield wipers. That was another achievement. So I really loved the achievements I reached. Every day you push yourself until you get to the next level. Hanging leg raises, I got to hanging leg thrusts where I was thrusting my legs in the air, and then I got so good that I could leave them in the air and do wipers. But one of the days I was doing my yoga, and when I was doing my knee to toes or butterflies, I felt stuck, and that has been with me till today. So you have to start being careful as you age. And I still lift, some days I'll lift like I still think I'm young. So I have to remind myself, when I put my keys or something, I'll be like, check your ego at the locker, don't go banana sandwich. Instead of sacrificing your form over the weight, you have to focus on the form. So I've told myself I'm not allowed to do deadlifts anymore unless I'm ready to go low and stay low. I think a good way to program yourself for that is telling yourself do 20 reps, which is hard, it's deadlifts. I do love deadlifts. Make it fun. Do different things. Like in between, I tried different workouts. From different workouts, I went to calisthenics. Now I'll go into flexibility and mobility. And yeah, I've always been into kind of fitness or done something, even if it's at home. I have pavers. There was a time I couldn't afford the gym, so I used to go carry a backpack, put pavers in there, really heavy pavers, and then go to the kids area, do my pull-ups and just straight bar dips, squats with those kind of weights, or like. Now for your motivation, your steps are going to be first figuring out who you are, what works, what makes you tick, what's going to make you go every day and do this thing. Even if it's not every day, what's going to make you stay consistent? Doing things like putting things in the way of where your comfort is. If your comfort is the couch, put a dumbbell, put something there, so you're like, okay, before I even sit on that couch, I have to do 10 reps and then I can sit. 10 reps. You can do that in 10 seconds. Make it as easy for you that you can't fail to do this thing. If you go in the pantry to get your carbs or your chips and everything, put something there. Tie it to a heavy weight. So when you go to get your chips, you're lifting something heavy to take it to wherever you're going to eat it. Try different things and make things. There's so many books on these habits. I'll share a link to Atomic Habits in the links below. Next thing is make a promise to yourself. I'm going to stick to this for 6 months. I'm going to do at least 10 reps. If I feel better, then I'm going to do more than 10 reps. But 10 reps, I promised myself I'm going to do. One thing I really advise against is if you want to reach here and you're aiming for there, I'm going to go hard and fast. I'm going to fast crazy. I'm going to do this exercise. I'm going to go crazy. Don't go crazy. You can't reach there from here. If you want to go there, you have to look at your next step only. I'm just going to, 6 months, I'm going to program myself to get used to this. 6 more months, I'm going to program myself to realize, okay, now I like this lifestyle. I'm going to change my whole wardrobe to suit this lifestyle before anything else, because this is going to be the new me. Okay, now that you're here, oh, I love where I am. I'm dedicated. Okay, if that's the thing I want to get into, now I'm making friends in this lifestyle. I know who the kinds of friends I want to keep around me. Remember Oprah Winfrey? When she lost her weight, she lost her fat friends, because that lifestyle cannot sustain that kind of company. So your company is going to change to better people with better goals, better lifestyles, all that. You can hang out with your other friends on the days you don't stick to it, but you're going to keep going different steps, new steps, keep pushing yourself. I have this friend, she was so big, and look at her now. I'll share a link to her post of how she went from that side to where she is now. And remember, you're going to relapse, but doesn't mean you need to go all the way down the stairs. Okay, I've relapsed, but I know I don't need 6 months to go up the steps now. Now I've known my routine, and keep a record, because then you can be like, okay, when I was here, what did I do? How can I get to that level next? How can I get faster? You know the steps now. If you need any help, if you like what I'm talking about, if you have any questions on things, please reach out, man. I really love doing these kind of videos, and I hope you like this. If you like this, I'll make more. See you in the next ones. We would become membership. That's a sound of a truck that just passed me and hit something on my car. So make sure you check that out, Paras. I've never been into flat bench press. I've never been into fat bench press.